Well, here in the tri-state, local law enforcement and parents are responding to yesterday's tragedy.
But there's one lingering question. How do you approach this subject with your kids? Eyewitness News' Ryan Witry is here with more on that. Ryan?
No more Pee Wee football, no more dance recitals or band concerts. That's the heart-wrenching reality for families in Texas tonight. But in the wake of so many school shootings over the past decade, parents here in the tri-state say the conversations they have with their own children about these tragedies never gets any easier.
I couldn't imagine dropping my kids off and not picking them back up.
In the wake of another school shooting, one group in Texas is again ramping up their curriculum to prepare students for an unspeakable tragedy.
So the very young kids, it's maybe how to take directions from the teacher and how to be a good listener and a good rule follower when the teacher says, hey, we need to do this, and there's key terminology that's used. You know, maybe the older kids would start being able to more actively participate in helping to close and lock and barricade doors.
Meanwhile, over 1,000 miles away from Uvalde, police in Owensboro conducted their yearly school shooter training. While they had already planned on having training today, Davis County Public Schools Police Department Lead Enforcement Officer Brad Youngman says Tuesday's shooting only makes the need more apparent.
What happened in Texas yesterday is certainly on our minds as we go about what we're doing today. It just drives home the importance of being ready, having the skills necessary to respond to a horrible event like that, and also just, you know, thinking about things going forward, how we would handle things and any changes that we need to make to our program. Okay. You're okay with that.
Youngman says this kind of training became available all across the Commonwealth after a 2018 shooting at Marshall County High School.
They crafted a law that went into effect that made it possible for school districts to start their own police department. So, you know, that's in a large way, that's why the Davis County Public Schools Police Department exists to this day.
In the wake of the shooting in Texas, parents are once again faced with an uncomfortable but familiar situation, talking to their kids about what happened.
It's definitely an uncomfortable conversation to have, but unfortunately it's a necessary one.
One expert says being open and honest with kids and their concerns is key.
If children are experiencing anxiety and they do have questions, we want to be there to answer them, and just reiterate that there are so many good people in their lives, and yes, there are some bad people who do bad things, but that their loved ones are working very hard to protect them and keep them safe.
But for Owensboro mom Megan Jackson, the worry is almost always there for her and her kids.
She said, Mom, but that won't happen, right? And like, you know, having your child ask you that question and then not being able to confirm, because I can't say to her, that won't happen. I can say I hope that it won't happen. I can say that I pray that it won't happen, but I can't tell her definitively, no, that'll never happen. And I think that was the answer for me that she was looking for, and I couldn't give it to her.
Jackson says she told her daughter to listen to her teachers in the event of an emergency, adding that she and other parents started living with that fear just about every day after the Sandy Hook school shooting almost a decade ago. Ryan Witry, Eyewitness News.